Okay, different lighting for me, right? It is currently 7:09 p.m. and head to the airport. Kind of late for me, right? It is late for me. Headed to Buenos Aires, Argentina. I don't know. Every time I say it with an accent, and I can't do it. I'm headed to Buenos Aires, Argentina. This trip came to me as a surprise. I am on short call reserve. This is my day 3 of short call reserve. And I had a 3 p.m. wrap versus my normal 11 a.m. wrap. Reason being, on Sunday and Monday, I had 11 a.m. wraps, and then today they moved me to 3 p.m. conveniently. Even though I asked for 11 o'clock, they gave me 3 o'clock. And that kind of ended up doing me in for getting this trip to Buenos Aires. Now, I'm not complaining, but if I had 11 a.m., I wouldn't be legal for it. It is what it is. Aha, that's a scorecard, bingo card. So how this came about, so I was actually at Sam's Club today, and I saw the trip open up. I'm like, oh, well, there's a guy senior to me that hasn't flown at all this month. Again, this is the 19th of the month. Hasn't flown at all on reserve. I have already flown 7 days of reserve. So I'm thinking I'm safe because they're going to use him before me. No, 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 no. Imagine my surprise when my phone went off from my union letting me know an automated system I have set up that when I get a trip on my schedule, it calls me automatically. It's a robocall. I'm like, why am I getting a robocall for this Buenos Aires trip when the other guy hadn't flown at all? I was confused, and I consulted a friend, and I was incorrect on how our reserve system works now. In the past, it would balance people out to make sure everyone got to fly. Not anymore. Now, if you're the junior person, you get dumped on no matter what. Um, and someone's going to say, well, Darren, you'll be senior one day. I will be senior one day. But for now, it's kind of, that here I am going flying. And when I finish this trip, I would have flown about 63 hours for the month. And the other pilot has flown 0 hours. Now, on the flip side, I could have flown, they had 3 open trips for tomorrow, 2 Londons and a Madrid. I could have picked Madrid. It went junior to me. I didn't because I was like, I just want to roll the dice and not fly. Well, now I'm flying to Buenos Aires. I guess not a horrible trip. It's an 8:11 p.m. sign in, so I have an hour to get there from now. The captain already texted me a few times. He wants to take a 4-hour bike tour. I'm not really a bike tour person, especially for 4 hours. I did in our union, at my union, we have an app, and with all the hotels, like tips about the hotel, reviews of the hotel, that kind of thing. Well, someone posted that for Buenos Aires, you shouldn't use your credit card because you get a horrible exchange rate, and that you should bring $100 bill down there, $100 bill specifically, and exchange it for the local currency. I'm like, that's weird. So I texted the captain saying, "Hey, I haven't been there before. What's the lowdown on this whole money thing?" He said, "Well, right now it's changed a lot since that comment was posted. Using a credit card, you might get a slightly worse exchange rate, but it's fine." Um, I'm probably gonna get $100 bill out of the ATM at the airport. I use Bank of America. There's Bank of America there as a backup. But I'd rather get a slightly worse exchange rate. 'Cause I'm not buying $1,000 worth of crap, right? Than have a foreign currency which I'm just gonna take home and put in a jar of random coins. That's kind of useless to me. So that's my plan A, is to use my credit card. When I get back from this trip, I get back Friday morning at 6:43 a.m. and have the rest of the day off, and that will be my last day of reserve on this stint. I'm then off for a long time. I'm off the whole week of Thanksgiving, and then I go back on reserve the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Even though that's still November, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's November. Let's see, November 30th? No, the 25th is Monday. 24th, 23rd. So it's November 30th. It's the last day of the month. Um, and my reserve days carry over into December anyway, so it is what it is. I'm hoping that I will not be used on my next reserve days, but I bet I will because of the lovely reserve system we have. This is going to really dig into me to make sure when I bid for next month, because I got really senior really quick. I went from 88% seniority to like 70% seniority in a month because of all the people coming in under me. So next month when I bid, I'm gonna put a void reserve to maybe get a line in January. It'd be a life changing thing to get a line. Um, have a set schedule, even if it's all London. I don't care. It'd be nice to have a line because this reserve system. On the flip side, if I am on reserve in January, well, at least I will have people under me to pass down to the flying I don't want. So there's that. Kind of a busy day this afternoon, though. I had to fix my heater, which you might have already seen. And then right before I left for the trip, I got a flat tire in my driveway. I had a big bolt in my tire, so I had to plug that tire real quick. And then I was trying to export my video. I post videos on Thursdays, of course. I try to post videos on Thursdays. And my export kept failing and failing and failing. And finally, I'm like, okay, it's going through. But unfortunately, the last time I was trying to make it go through, it was 6:30 p.m., 6:38 p.m. And it wasn't going to finish before I had to leave for the airport. So I'm going to attempt to process this on my trip. I do bring a MacBook Air with me, but it's a baby MacBook Air. It's a M3 with 8 GB of RAM. By contrast, my main computer now for Macs is a Mac Mini M4 Pro with 48 gigs of RAM. Quite the difference. So well, hopefully this Mac Mini will work. If it doesn't work, then it's going to be a late posting of the video sometime Friday afternoon. But join me if you want to. Again, I don't introduce myself, but my name is Darren. I'm a dad. I'm an airline pilot. I'm a husband of a scientist. I make videos about aviation because I love aviation so much. I make videos, as a vlog, and it kind of just follows my trip from start to the end. All right, head to the airport. See you there. So I parked my car and survived a very sketchy, as always, bus ride to the terminal and walked inside. There's a very different vibe coming to work at 7 o'clock at night versus like 5 in the afternoon. It's different. So it's gonna be cold when I got back to Dallas and a little bit chilly in Buenos Aires. So I bought my winter coat, company issued. I just bought it a few weeks ago. It's on top of my blazer. Again, walking down the jet bridge in Terminal D. This is one of the longer jet bridges. I was the first to arrive, I normally am, because again, I like to get to the work early. I don't like rushing. It's not something I want to do. So I always have a good cushion of time before I have to be anywhere, work and personal life. Anyways, got to the flight deck because I'm the FO flying. My stuff stays in the flight deck, so I put my jacket. All of our jackets stay in the flight deck. My suitcase stays in the flight deck. I put all that away, hopped in my seat, and began my pre-flight duties. But eventually, the rest of the crew arrived, and we headed off to Buenos Aires. Again, it's a very long flight. It's an all-nighter down there. Not my favorite kind of flight, but again, it is what it is. As far as our routing goes, we left DFNW and headed south toward Houston, out over the Gulf of Mexico. And you see those little hashed lines, those black lines? Those are different ATC boundaries to keep it simple. We cross multiple boundaries, and countries control these various boundaries all the way down the coast of South America. We stayed on the west side of the Andes Mountains. You might be wondering, why don't we just cross the Andes and go in a straight line over to Buenos Aires, right? Because it's always faster going a straight line. Well, there's a good reason for that. Giant no-fly zones. The Andes Mountains are very, very tall, and we're only allowed to cross in certain areas. So we get this very narrow 10-mile gap to cross. So you can see the no-fly zone, there's a gap right there. But north of that, it's all a big no-fly zone. We can't fly over it. It's just not allowed. Now we can fly around it on the north side, but that also presents challenges as far as where you can go in case of emergency, right? So most flights do end up being routed through this 10-mile gap. And I'm going to measure it out here. It's a very fancy feature of my FD Pro, but it's a 10-mile gap that most flights shoot when they're crossing the Andes Mountains over South America. Now, once we cross this gap, it's easy getting into Buenos Aires. The terrain is very, very flat on that side of the Andes. Now, I had the last break, so I left my bunk area and had a nice welcome breakfast in our business class seat we get reserved for us. Hi, again, we're almost to Buenos Aires. As far as the arrival into Buenos Aires, it's nothing special. It's a pretty basic arrival. We get to a fix, and then they gave us radar vectors over to land on the northern runway. Nice long runway. The captain made a pretty good landing, and we pulled into the gate. It's a very short taxi from the runway to the gate and we were done in the daytime. In the morning, again, the sunlight really drains all of my energy on these overnight flights. So, so far I've flown to Europe, South America, and Asia. And the South America flights, they are worse on my body than the Asia or the European flights. It's just the timing. The all-nighters, leave late at night and arrive mid-morning really hurt. Head at the jet bridge. Now the terminal from the outside looks really old, and the jet bridge is kind of old, but that's kind of normal around even in Dallas. But the terminal was pretty new on the inside, so it's a mix of old and new. A lot of walking to clear customs. Again, it is what it is. Cleared customs, headed outside, and hopped in our van. Pretty long ride from the airport to downtown. We stayed in an alternate hotel this time because for some reason our normal hotel wasn't available. Still a very nice hotel overall, though. Okay, new week, new city, new country. Currently 12:13 local time, 9:13 in DFNW. Pretty tired. Adrenaline's wearing off. Got to the airport, got down to the airplane. I was the first one to get to the plane. Did my pre-flight, did all this, the initial testing, and then I'm like, crap, I should get cash. And I normally carry $2 bills for van tips. That's all I ever carry. Maybe $40 in my passport for backup money, but I don't carry cash. But my union app, and then my captain said, they actually like cash is better than credit cards down here. So I'm like, crap. So for the first time in a long time, I have local currency. This is $80. I have no idea how much it is. The service we use to transport us helps us get money transfers or exchanges. Anyways, so I got cash out at the ATM at the airport. Met the captain and the FB, both very nice people. Captain was a former FO on the plane for a long time. He just became captain a few months ago. Super nice guy. He took the leg down here. I'm totally fine with that because, again, how I got the trip yesterday, I couldn't do my normal pre-nap, right? So it's like, you know what? I'd rather fly back than fly here. Leaving Dallas, we had to ask for relief on the climbing restriction. It was close. It was just better to ask for relief than try to do it because then they had all these I think it's 4, 6, and 7,000 feet on the Darts 9 departure, and we was like, it's kind of cutting it close. It's better to ask for relief than ask for forgiveness if we couldn't do it. But yeah, so since the captain was flying down, I had the very last break, meaning I didn't go on break until 3:30 in the morning Dallas time. 3:30 a.m. Dallas time. So it was, again, I had coffee and I had my normal how to stay awake thing. I got my crew meal. I wasn't really having it. So I had a few bites of beef and I had the fruit and a bite of broccoli and I'm done. Went from Houston Center to Merida Center and all the way down. I did go to bed before we had to do the crossing of the little pass we go through. Hopefully I explain that at some point in this video. But I slept really good. I had about a 3-hour break and I slept for a good solid 2 hours. Right? And that did me fine. Woke up, had my breakfast in the crew seat we have. Went back up front and it was bright daylight. Coming in here out, it's kind of weird. Not weird, but I was expecting lots of terrain. Argentina is very flat, at least near Buenos Aires. It's like flying over Kansas, so to speak. So a little bit of a language issue, only because they have not the best radios in the world. But we vectored around, and kind of funny, we were given direct to an initial approach fix. And then they said, okay, you're clear for the approach. Let us know when you're doing the approach. Like, not much vectoring, really. But it's a nice day here. Captain made a very good landing on 3-5. And then we taxied into the gate. Very old airport. Very old airport. Could use some renovations. It's like old and new. Old, it's very old on the inside, newish on the outside. But lots of walking to clear customs. It's easy process clearing customs for the most part. And then finding the van was a little bit of a challenge. Again, I follow flight attendants to find the vans. Hopped in the van, kind of a long ride. We're at a different hotel than our normal hotel because for some reason I'm not sure why, but it's a nice hotel. It's a nice hotel. It looks like a nice area. But I'm going to go to sleep now and take a nap for a while. And then we're going to be here for 33 hours, so plenty of time. Then I bring my MacBook Air to hopefully edit a video that you've probably already seen. But yeah, Buenos Aires, Argentina, another checklist off. I do want to go to Incheon and Frankfurt and Dublin. Those are places I haven't flown to yet, and my plane flies. We don't fly to Dublin right now because it's out of season, but I do want to fly to Frankfurt and Incheon, so get my bingo card filled out. All right, it continues. So I heard that cambio down every walkway I went down. I thought I could blend in with my nice tan skin. No, I guess I look like an easy American because they said cambio to me multiple times. And from what I gather from talking to my crew members, if you need change, you tell them you need cambio, and they bring you to some weird room with armed guards and lots of money, and you can exchange your U.S. dollars for local currency. Using the ATMs, you get a much worse rate. So people use these cambio people. Anyways, headed to a nice steak restaurant. Again, I'm not a big steak eater, but this place had really good reviews, and it was an amazing steak. Great menu. Again, I'm used to eating by myself. I'm totally fine with it. Great ambiance inside. The menu had lots of pictures of the meat. So if you were confused about what piece of steak is what, don't worry. This menu let you know what piece of steak came from where. And they had all the grills right up front in the restaurant. So it was extremely fresh. Now I'm by myself, and then again I'm on semaglutide, so I can't eat a whole lot. But I did kind of save up in my gut room for this meal. I ordered a steak and onion rings. They had bread as a side. It was good. I'm not a big drinker, so that's my Coke Zero in a fancy wine glass. But you can hear my steak sizzle on the next video clip. Listen in. I have no idea what cut of beef I had. It was an amazing steak, and it was the best steak I've ever had in my entire life, hands down. Again, on the way out, I kind of looked at the cooking area. I mean, it's lots of fresh meat, uh, grill on both sides of the walkway. Again, I did a lot of walking. I walk a lot on my overnights, so I left there and did a lot of walking. This is a big shopping area. I felt very safe, very secure walking around. I had no problems walking around Buenos Aires. Uh, Very upscale restaurants and stores. I speak bad Spanish, so I went to this fancy mall, walked around. Didn't buy a whole lot the first day. Just kind of relaxed, headed back to the hotel room. Tried to edit my video. You can see it in the background. Called the kids and the wife at home to check in. Again, my kids have kind of grown up with me on FaceTime, which is great to have, right? Again, I'm home a lot more than people think I am, but as a pilot, it's very nice to be able to see my family when I'm on the road traveling. Then I kind of called it a night. I went to bed early. Next morning I went up, had breakfast. Downstairs had breakfast, included with our hotel rate here, and then I went exploring. This is a giant train station across the street, and I love trains. So it was a mass of people leaving this train. But I walked around the train station, and I walked through this little shopping area. It wasn't quite open yet, and just walked for about 3 miles this day. I did go in some shops to look for some leather items for my family, but I'm not sure they actually use any of them, so I didn't buy any kind of souvenirs or trinkets for them. But I like walkable cities, and this is a very walkable city. I didn't go to all the tourist areas because I was a little bit tired, and I spent a lot of time actually editing the video and going back to the hotel room and checking on the export and the upload. The upload on a hotel Wi-Fi took several hours for the video I posted that week. It was crazy. But eventually, I did arrive to this touristy part of town, took a picture in front of this big BA sign, and then headed back to the hotel room for my nap. But I couldn't sleep very well, so I went out for some empanadas. Again, my bad Spanish, and thankfully her good English helped me order the empanadas. Again, super nice area. Got my steps in before the long flight back, and walked back to the hotel. And now for my briefing before the flight. So Buenos Aires, Argentina, great city. I just don't like the flying down here. Getting ready to leave. The sun is setting. We have a 10:30 p.m. departure. Getting in Dallas around 6:43 in the morning, I think. Yeah, I just don't like the all-nighter thing. It's different for Europe. For European flights, when I fly to Europe, it is like a, you know, between 3 and 7 p.m. departure out of Dallas, right? And we get in, um, like 1 to 4 in the morning Dallas time, right? So I get in and I can just go to bed. The deep south flying, we're leaving at 10:30 at night, right? 11 o'clock at night. It's late. And you get in and the sun is fully up. You're getting in like, I don't know, 7, 6, I guess 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Dallas time. It's just different. Um, it felt sluggish the whole first day, worse than London. So there's that. The city is fine. My Spanish is bad. I got around fine. Had a great steak. Did a lot of walking, just exploring the area. People watching. Lots of cambio, changing money. Again, it's the first time I've gotten local currency in a long time. I still have about 30,000 pesos left, about $30 or so. So for next time, I guess the empanadas are better than they are in the Miami airport. Um, Also, just random stuff. Unlike Chile, the tops of the cokes come off. Ooh. So it's my leg back. Um, so I'll fly. It's about 11 hours and change block time back. So I'll fly for about 3.5 hours and take a 3.5 hour break, and then fly for the last 3.5 hours or so. So get in tomorrow morning. Should be home on my couch by 8 o'clock. Maybe take a little nap and then be dad for the rest of the day. Yeah. What else is there to say about Argentina? I think that's it. All right. It continues. For your lifetime. Oh, wait. Not done. Let's say about Argentina. So, the whole overnight flying thing again. I took a nap today. I went to bed today at 2 in the afternoon, 2:30 in the afternoon, hoping to sleep till 7:30. Got maybe 2.5 hours of a nap. This, even with my eye mask on, just couldn't sleep very well. Because my body's like, hey, we like the European stuff there and not this deep south stuff. So I went out and got my empanadas, had my Fairlife drink, had my Coke Zero, and now I'm ready to go hit the van and go to the airport. All right, now it continues. So we all piled in the van and head to the airport. And again, I always wonder how, you know, flight crews know where to go for all new. Thankfully, the flight attendants, again, they always know where they're going. So follow the flight attendants up the escalator through the security area. And again, they have a crew line, right? So we all got in the crew line, but the crew line was really backed up with normal people because I guess they didn't have any crews going through. Well, we're like, okay, but we need to get through here. So we all bypassed the people in the normal line and they got visibly upset with us. But we're like, we're crew. We have to go through. I'm so sorry. And again, look at the other side. There's no one on the other side. I don't get it either. So we all went through security, not a big deal. Went through immigration, not a big deal. But then we messed up at. So at the end of immigration is duty free, very common in big airports, right? Well, all but two of us went through the duty free area thinking this is ridiculous. It is small hallways, very packed toward the end of this duty free area. We had to snake through people checking out. But two of us went straight and bypassed the entire thing, which we all could have done. Yeah. So get to the airport. It is currently 9:32. We leave at 10:30 allegedly, but the flight to Miami is on our gate, so it's going to be a bit before we can board the airplane. Busy terminal, so I went down a few gates to find an empty seat and waited out. I did get Starbucks purchased for by my captain. That's kind of nice. I have noticed though outside the country we get a lot of Americanos and not so much drip coffee. And I'm a drip coffee, Pike's Peak, Pike's Place, whatever it is, Starbucks guy. Americano's fine, but I don't mind drip coffee. But now we wait and get my free caffeine. Good times. Once she got on board the airplane, got our clearance, and it was kind of weird. We said maintain like 6,000 feet for 30 miles from the vortac. Yeah, that's just like a backup just in case they didn't get a hold of us, but we didn't have to wait that long. Anyways, the ground crew is very good. And once Miami left, we pulled our plane up and we boarded fairly quickly, left off runway 11. Again, nice long runway. We did the Toral 1 departure. It's just a climbing right turn. I hand flew it to be headed straight, and then I turned the autopilot on. And again, I was the pilot flying on the way back. So I took the second break, not the last break. So I was awake or functioning. I was awake as we passed the little 10-mile gap shooting the gap between the terrain and up over the western portion of South America. We got into Dallas fairly easily. There was some traffic coming in, landing north over Grand Prairie Airport, but otherwise, very standard flight. Got in, cleared customs, and I am done. Am I overcompensating for the weather? Probably. It's 46 degrees, and I have on this big heavy jacket because I'm crazy. It's overkill, but I hate being cold. That was a rough trip back, and not for weather, just the time. I am not a deep South America person, and I'm okay saying that. I don't like the flight times. I don't have a choice, really. I'm a junior, but I won't be seeking out deep South flying. So we left the hotel, hopped in the van, got to the airport quickly. It's a very nice terminal, I'll say that. We all cleared. What did we do first? First, we cleared security. That was a little bit convoluted because they told us to go to the employee line, and then the employee line had a bunch of people, and they were older people, and they were upset with us skipping them, right? But it's like, we're crew. This is a crew line. I'm sorry they put you in this line because the other lines had no line. So they should have just gone to the regular line. There was no line in the regular people line, and they wouldn't let us go over there. So cleared security. Then we cleared immigration. And out of my entire crew of, I guess, 3 + 9, 12, 2 of us, not me, bypassed duty free, because you can bypass it, and go straight to the exit. The rest of us went through duty free like it's really crowded in here. But left duty free. My captain bought me a nice coffee, Americano. And then unfortunately, they don't have any gates in Buenos Aires, so the Miami flight was on our gate, so we had to wait for that to clear. Got down to the airplane. They boarded very quickly. We left close to on time. Getting clearance was a little bit weird. The captain kind of pimped me on what the clearance would probably be, because they gave us a departure SID, except maintain 6,000 feet until 30 miles away from the VOR, then climb to flight level, I guess, 320. It's like 30 miles to 6,000 feet. That's a long way to be at 6,000 feet. That's like a worst case scenario situation, because it didn't end up happening. We ended up getting, open climb up right away, so that was fine. For my takeoff, pretty short taxi over to the runway. Calm wind takeoff, climbed up. I made the right turn, and then turned autopilot on, and that was it. We had to shoot the pass. That was very non-eventful, thankfully. We have lots of contingencies for that. I'm sure I explained it already in the video. But yeah, I was up front for about 3.5 hours, and I took my break, and had about 3-ish, a little bit more than 3-hour break, and I slept for about an hour at a time. Slept for an hour, woke up, used the restroom, slept for an hour, woke up, used the restroom, slept for an hour, woke up, and it was done. Again, I drink a lot of water. They stay hydrated on flights, so. What else? Got one back up front. Then I had about 3.5 hours left, and it was rough. Just don't like it. It is what it is. But we got to over Houston, and the sun was just rising. It's like crap, because when the sun starts rising, it seems that everything slows down, and you get just more and more tired. But nice smooth arrival into here. 36 left approach. There was some little bit of surprise traffic. We're getting vectors for the approach, for visual, and they cleared us down at 3,000 direct to a fix on the approach, and they had to stop at 3,500 because there was VFR traffic. A Piper at 6 in the morning. They had to be the traffic watch, like people that watch traffic, I guess. I don't know what they're doing that early in the morning, and they're coming from the Grand Prairie Airport right under us. So whatever. But I made a very good landing. I'll look at my stats on my app later on as far as how far down the runway I landed and everything else, but it was smooth. Got into the gate, and then quickly clear customs outside, and home I go. It's currently 7:13 a.m. Been up for a while. I guess yesterday I woke up at 3 p.m. Dallas time. Yeah. Yeah. So, but I'm off for a bit, so I'll go home. Be very cautious going through the school zone, and park the car. Say hi to the wife. And I normally, after a red eye, I can't go to sleep right away, even if I'm tired. I'll do some computer work, play some maybe Flight Sim 2024 if it works, and then I'll get tired about an hour from now and take a couple hour nap, and then wake up and then go about the rest of my day. All right, I will stop it here and leave it, push it over to Darren to wrap up the video. Okay, wrapping up Argentina. As far as the pay goes, it's all reserve credit, but my pay would have been 62.40.47. But again, it's all absorbed into my 76-hour guarantee. I did not break guarantee for the month of November. My per diem was $199.75, and then I get an international pay. It's a weird calculation of $109 even on this trip. And then I do get an amount equal to 17% of my hourly wages into my 401k. That equals $1,060.88. Long video. Sorry for the delay in posting. It's been a crazy few weeks, but I should get back to normal here soon. If you'd like to support me, please subscribe, like, and comment. It helps quite a bit. Otherwise, have a great day. And as always, thank you for stopping by.